to confront someone at his own home, and that confrontation ends with a damaged car. One teenager believes he deserves compensation for the damage. But when the case reaches Judge Judy, the story takes an unexpected turn, because Judge Judy isn't only interested in who damaged the vehicle. She wants to know why the teenagers were there in the first place. Nick comes into court believing that the defendant should be held responsible for the damage, but Judge Judy quickly realizes that this is much more complicated than a simple property damage dispute. Nick and several other teenagers had gone to Max's home because of an argument involving a girl. They were not simply passing by, and they were not there for a peaceful visit. They had gone there as a group to confront Max. According to the case, the situation became heated, and eventually a vehicle was damaged. Nick believes Max should be responsible for the damage. At first, that sounds like a straightforward argument. If someone damages your property, shouldn't they have to pay for it? But Judge Judy begins looking at the circumstances surrounding the incident. She wants to know why Nick was there. Why did he go to Max's home? Why did several teenagers go together? And what did Nick expect would happen when they arrived? Judge Judy makes it clear that she does not see Nick and the other teenagers as completely innocent. In her view, they made a deliberate choice to become involved in a confrontation. Nick tries to explain that he wasn't responsible for the damage. He wants the judge to understand that he didn't personally cause the damage to the vehicle, but Judge Judy is focused on something much bigger. She is focused on judgment. Nick made the decision to go to another person's home with a group of teenagers because of a personal dispute. That decision created the circumstances that eventually led to the damage. Judge Judy essentially asks why Nick would put himself in such a dangerous situation in the first place. If there is an argument with another person, why travel to that person's home? Why not stay away? Why not let the situation calm down? And why become part of a confrontation that could easily turn violent? Nick continues trying to explain his side, but Judge Judy is not interested in excuses. She wants accountability. The fact that Nick may not have personally damaged the vehicle does not erase the fact that he voluntarily participated in the confrontation, and that becomes the central issue of the entire case. The vehicle was allegedly damaged with a baseball bat. Nick believes Max was responsible. Interestingly, Judge Judy appears to believe that Max probably did damage the vehicle, so it might seem like Nick is about to win. But then Judge Judy considers the circumstances surrounding the incident. Even if Max damaged the vehicle, should Nick receive compensation after deliberately participating in a dangerous confrontation at Max's home? Judge Judy's answer is no. This is what makes the case so surprising. Judge Judy is not necessarily saying that the vehicle wasn't damaged. She is not necessarily saying that Max didn't do it. Instead, she is saying that Nick's own actions matter. Nick voluntarily became part of the situation. He went to Max's home with other teenagers. He became involved in a confrontation over a girl. And once he chose to participate, he accepted the risk that the situation could get out of control. Judge Judy sees that behavior as reckless, and she does not want to reward someone for putting himself in a dangerous situation and then coming to court expecting compensation. The judge then turns her attention toward Nick's mother. Her message becomes less about the damaged car and more about teaching Nick an important lesson. Teenagers sometimes believe that confronting someone will solve a problem. They may think that bringing friends along will make them safer. They may believe that if something goes wrong, they can simply explain that they were not the person who caused it. But Judge Judy sees the situation differently. If you deliberately join a confrontation, you are taking a risk, and that risk can have serious consequences. The damaged car could have been the least serious thing that happened that night. Someone could have been seriously injured. Someone could have been arrested. The confrontation could have escalated much further. Judge Judy wants Nick and his mother to understand that the courtroom is not simply about deciding who caused the physical damage. It is also about looking at the behavior that led to the incident. Nick may believe that he deserves money because the vehicle was damaged, but Judge Judy sees the bigger picture. Nick was not simply an innocent person who happened to be standing nearby. He made a decision to participate. He went with the group. He went to Max's home, and he became involved in an encounter that had the potential to become violent. That decision has consequences. Judge Judy makes it clear that sometimes your own actions can affect whether you receive compensation in court. Even if another person did something wrong, your own behavior can still matter. That is the lesson Nick learns during this hearing. After listening to the arguments, Judge Judy reaches her decision. She appears to believe that Max likely damaged the vehicle, but despite that, Nick's case is dismissed. The reason is Nick's own reckless involvement in the confrontation. Judge Judy does not want Nick leaving the courtroom believing that he was completely innocent simply because he did not personally damage the car. Instead, she wants him to understand the real lesson. Sometimes the smartest decision is to walk away. Do not go looking for trouble. Do not join a group of people going to confront someone. Do not assume that bringing friends makes a dangerous situation safe, and do not expect the court to protect you from the consequences of choices you willingly made. Judge Judy's message to Nick's mother is also important. Teenagers make mistakes, but some mistakes can have serious consequences. An argument over a girl might seem like a simple teenage problem, but when several people show up at someone's home, emotions can quickly become uncontrollable. One person says something, another person reacts, someone becomes angry, and suddenly, a situation that started as an argument can turn into property damage or something much worse. Judge Judy wants Nick to learn this lesson before a more serious incident happens. In the end, Nick came to court believing he had a